She was a perfect cyborg killer, until my embrace broke. Her programming commander Jake Rivers had seen death approach many times during the war against the Zephyrian Empire, but never in such a beautiful form. The alien woman who materialized in his quarters moved with impossible grace, her silver skin catching the dim starlight through the viewport. Her eyes glowed with an ethereal blue light that should have warned him of danger, but instead drew him closer like a moth to flame. She stood, nearly 7 feet tall with elongated limbs that spoke of a world with lighter gravity than Earth. Her face held an otherworldly beauty that transcended species barriers, high cheekbones framing those luminous eyes while her white hair flowed like liquid mercury down her shoulders. The form-fitting bio-armor that covered her body pulsed with energy conduits that traced patterns across her skin like living tattoos. Jake should have reached for his weapon, should have called for security, should have done anything except what he did. Instead, he found himself stepping forward, drawn by something he could not name. The woman tilted her head, studying him with those brilliant eyes, and for a moment he saw confusion flicker across her perfect features. "My designation is Unit Zara 7, she spoke in accented English, her voice carrying musical tones that made his heart skip. "I am here to eliminate the human commander of this vessel. You are that target." The words should have terrified him, but Jake heard something beneath the mechanical delivery, a hesitation that did not belong in the voice of a perfect killer. Her hand moved to a weapon at her side, but the motion was slow, uncertain. He realized she was fighting something internal, a battle between her programming and something else entirely. "You don't want to kill me?" he said quietly, taking another step closer. "I can see it in your eyes. There's something more than programming in there, isn't there?" Zara 7's hand froze on her weapon, her luminous eyes widening. "Impossible," she whispered. "I am a weapon created for one purpose I do not want. I do not feel, I simply execute my mission." But even as she spoke the words, her body language betrayed her. The rigid military posture softened, slightly, and her free hand trembled. Jake saw the moment her programming warred with whatever was awakening inside her. The Zephyrians had created the perfect killer, but they had made one crucial mistake. They had given her the capacity to grow beyond her original parameters. Jake reached out slowly, placing his hand over hers on the weapon. The contact sent a visible shock through her system, the bio-armor flickering as energy surged chaotically through the conduits. Her breathing quickened, and for the first time since materializing in his quarters, she looked truly alive. "What are you doing to me?" she asked, her voice losing its mechanical edge. The glow in her eyes intensified, but now it seemed warm rather than threatening him, showing you that you're more than what they made you to be, Jake replied. His thumb traced gentle circles on her hand, and he watched as her entire body responded to the simple touch. The weapon fell from her grasp, clattering to the deck. Forgotten, the Zephyrian Empire had engineered their cyborg assassins to be immune to human weapons, resistant to all forms of attack. But they had not accounted for the one thing that could truly disable their perfect killer: compassion. Jake pulled her closer, and Zara 7 did not resist. Instead, she leaned into him, her tall frame folding down so her forehead rested against his. "I was not supposed to feel this," she whispered against his shoulder. "The warmth of your touch, the kindness in your voice, it breaks something inside me. Something I thought was unbreakable." Jake wrapped his arms around her, feeling the alien coolness of her silver skin gradually warming under his touch. The bio-armor began to retract, responding to her emotional state, revealing more of her natural form beneath. She was stunning in a way that transcended physical beauty. There was an innocence to her that her creators had tried to bury beneath layers of programming and conditioning. "They told me humans were weak," she continued, her voice muffled against his uniform. "They said your emotions made you vulnerable, inferior. But this feeling, this warmth spreading through my systems, it does not feel like weakness. It feels like power." As they held each other, Jake felt the change happening. In real time, the rigid control that had defined every aspect of her existence was crumbling, replaced by something organic and unpredictable. Her breathing synchronized with his, her artificial heart finding a new rhythm that matched the beat of his human one. The door to his quarters chimed and Lieutenant Amy Brooks' voice came through the comm commander. "We have multiple Zephyrian ships approaching. They are requesting the return of their property." Jake looked into Zara's eyes, seeing not the cold calculation of a killer but the warm uncertainty of someone discovering free will for the first time. "They want you back," he said. She straightened her full height, returning, but her posture remained soft, vulnerable. "I am no longer their property," she declared. The certainty in her voice surprised them both. "I choose to remain here with you with the humans who showed me what I could become beyond my programming." The ship's weapons powered up outside the viewport, but Jake felt no fear. The most dangerous assassin the Zephyrian Empire had ever created now stood beside him not as an enemy, but as something far more powerful, an ally who had chosen her own pathemy. "What is our status?" Jake called out, not taking his eyes off Zara the Zephyrian. "Commander is demanding immediate surrender of Unit Zara 7. Amy replied. "If we refuse, they will open fire." Jake smiled, taking Zara's hand in his. "Tell them Unit Zara 7 no longer exists. The woman standing here now is simply Zara, and she has chosen her." The bioarmor completed its retraction, revealing Zara in her natural form. Her silver skin gleamed in the starlight, and the energy conduits now pulsed with a warm golden glow, rather than the cold blue of her programming. The change was complete. The perfect killer had become something her creators never intended, a being capable of love. Outside, the Zephyrian ships held their position, waiting for an answer that would never come. The Empire had lost more than just their most effective weapon. They had lost the fear that such weapons inspired. For if a being created solely for killing could choose compassion over violence, what did that say about the nature of free will itself? Jake squeezed Zara's hand as she stared out at the ships that had once been her home. "I am ready," she said, her voice now completely free of mechanical overtones. "Whatever comes next, I face it as myself, not as their creation." The first shots from the Zephyrian fleet lit up the darkness, but Jake felt only peace. The embrace that had broken her programming had created something new, something that would change the course of the war, and perhaps the galaxy itself. For in choosing love over duty, Zara had proven that even the most perfect weapon could become the most powerful force for change.